جمع سوق السفر العربي في ملتقاه لهذا العام 1220 شركة ضيافة في ظل نمو كبير يشهده القطاع الفندقي في المنطقة. وللإضاءة على هذا الجانب استقبلت في وقت سابق اليوم السيد أليكس كيرياكيديس رئيس ماريوت العالمية في الشرق الأوسط وافريقيا، وسالته أولا عن المشاريع المقبلة لماريوت بعد قيامها بتوقيع الاتفاقية 11 في 12 شهرا، وموضوعها JW ماريوت جدة بعد كازابلانكا والدوحة.
First of all, I would say that this is an unprecedented time for the travel and tourism industry in the Gulf and particularly within the UAE. The economic conditions for developing hotels are exceptionally strong, with GDP growth rates in the Gulf states between 4 and 6% for the foreseeable future on the back of an oil price well north of 100. And the demand for hotel product has increased significantly since the crisis. We are seeing demand for our hotels right across the Gulf region. Over the next 4 years, we're going to grow from 43 hotels to 88 hotels, and that's just hotels currently under construction. So the announcements we've made are part of that construction pipeline. And of course, at any point in time, there's negotiations going on about more deals. So we are certainly very optimistic. Our biggest markets right now for new growth supply are the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. In fact, the UAE will move from third place in terms of number of rooms for Marriott International in Middle East and Africa to first place in the next 4 years, doubling the number of rooms to over 5,000.
ستضيفون كما تقولون حوالي 11,000 غرفة مع حلول العام 2017. من سيملأ هذه الغرف؟
The supply that we're looking at over the next 4 years, an additional 11,000 rooms, are largely in the United Arab Emirates, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and North Africa. If we look at the KSA profile, typically, of course, in the holy cities of Mecca and Medina, it's largely a pilgrimage-driven occupancy demand. But in the major cities of the kingdom, it's largely business demand, and increasingly it is leisure demand as Saudi families begin to travel around the kingdom to visit family and friends. Of course, here in the UAE, which will be our biggest market, you have, on the one hand, Abu Dhabi, where today the profile of tourism is 70% business, 30% leisure. But the leisure element is beginning to creep up as the capital invests more in tourist-based attractions, such as the museums. In Dubai, it's the reverse. We have 70% leisure and 30% business. And to be honest with you, Dubai today, I would describe it as being on steroids. 87% occupancy today, despite having 62,000 operating rooms and serviced apartments. Now, if you look forward with the vision of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed in terms of the investment to be made in Emirat, the airline, in terms of the theme park investments to attract the family and family business. And of course, our new hotel, the JW Marriott Marquis with 1,600 rooms, which His Highness inaugurated, is aimed at stimulating a new market for Dubai, which is what we call in the industry the MICE market, the Meetings, Incentives, Conference and Exhibition market. And again, with Expo 2020 bid in the horizon, this is an example of where Dubai once again is leading, I think, in the industry.
في عالم الضيافة يبدو دائما الحديث يقودنا إلى جيل جديد من المسافرين، نوعية جديدة من المسافرين، وأنتم تبنون فنادق جديدة. كيف تضعون هذا الاعتبار في أذهانكم؟ ما هي ربما الاعتبارات التي لم تكن ذات قيمة في السابق وأصبحت ذات أهمية اليوم؟
I think the key thing we're seeing today is the emergence of what we call the Gen X and Y demographic. And that demographic within the next 15 years will dominate the workplace. And we are today completely taking a fresh look at our hotels in looking at what is that generation of Gen X's and Gen Y's looking for in terms of experience when they travel. They have some very interesting attributes. First of all, They mix travel and play, and they're focused on well-being, and they determine their own success. 1 minute they could be working in our hotels, next minute they want to switch off and relax, and at the same time kind of be in contact with work and all their families and friends through the social networking sites. They are, of course, extremely IT savvy. Bring your own device is a term that's creeping up in our industry today. Most of them will come to our hotels with at least 2 devices, in some cases 4 devices. And we don't have to look far for what this new generation is doing in terms of its contact with its families and friends. Today in the UAE we have some of the highest penetration of social media users. Facebook 54%. And the demographic is very interesting. If you look across the Middle East as a whole, we have 40% of our population is under 20 years of age. Now, that is a very interesting demographic. It's twice the level of Western Europe, which is at about 20%. So this generation is the generation that we're focusing on in developing product for the next few years. What does that mean? That means we have to rethink the traditional way of hospitality, a fixed lobby area, a fixed restaurant area, a fixed refreshment area. There is no such thing anymore. In our great room, what we're calling it in the Marriott Hotel of the Future, it's all one. So there's interaction, there is activity, there is the opportunity to work in one area, to relax in the other, to order something to eat, to get some refreshment. Technology is pervasive and it's demanded instantly by all of our guests today and more in the future. The bring your own device changes the dynamic of the room. So no more movies on demand, no more satellite on demand. Today what we have to do and what we're doing is providing an interface that allows our guests to connect their tablet with the television, so the television becomes an extension of their applications. So this is the kind of thinking that we need to bring into the future, and we are looking at completely regenerating the product, particularly at our Marriott signature brand. The focus on well-being is another very interesting trend. Today, our customers and our guests are very focused on well-being. It's not just, is there a gym? It's a question of, is there a spa? What is the menu choice? What is the beverage choice? And all of these things we need to respond to as an industry, and we at Marriott are responding to in the future.
يتطلب الأمر الكثير من الانفتاح الذهني. ما هي مقومات القيادة الناجحة في مجال عملكم اليوم؟
In terms of looking at future growth for Marriott, one of the key opportunities and challenges that we face is recruiting top talent and retaining top talent within the Marriott organization. Earlier I mentioned the way that we're going to almost double in size in the Middle East and Africa continent. We're going to have to recruit 12,000 people over the next 4 years to enter the industry. And here is where leadership becomes key. We have the ability today to recruit a young talent to join Marriott, be trained by Marriott, developed and rotated onto higher and greater responsibilities within our organization. But the start is very interesting. And today we're entering brand new markets. I will give you an example. Kigali, we're entering Kigali in Rwanda. There is no industry in Rwanda. So what we did is we partnered the Aquila Ladies Institute and recruited 16 young ladies, and we brought them to Dubai and to Doha to be trained in our existing hotels a year before the Rwanda hotel opens, so that they will then go back and be the leaders of the various departments in the hotel to train the associates that we recruit locally in the market. The other thing we're talking about leadership is the vision of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, but also the vision of other leaders in the Gulf around nationalization that's coming into our industry. Sheikh Mohammed is a great believer in our industry, and he's encouraged Emiratis to be part of this industry. And I'm very proud to say today that in all of our hotels in the UAE, we have a significant presence of Emirati associates. Other countries are taking the lead. In the kingdom today, there is a requirement of a minimum level of Saudi nationals in order that we as a business can get visas for the non-nationals. So the other interesting trend we're seeing in leadership in the Gulf is that of nationalization, which we welcome because we think there is nothing like a national greeting guests and talking about their country. It really makes our guests feel very, very special.
تتحدثون عن توظيف آلاف الشباب في المرحلة المقبلة. إذا كنت توجه نداء للشباب، أين تنصحهم أن يتجهوا؟ أي هي المجالات التي ستكونون بحاجة إليها في قطاع الضيافة؟
The recruitment stage, to be honest, we are agnostic in terms of the degree at the entry level. Later on in the career of the hospitality industry, specialization in the industry by attending one of the leading hospitality colleges is important. But at the graduate stage, what's more important is the passion of the individual for our industry. And this is where I would say we are suffering in the Gulf. Today, if you were to stop an average Saudi or Kuwaiti, and you would ask the question, where would you like to work when you graduate? They'll probably list the top three as government, energy, and financial services. Hospitality generally would not feature. And this is where we as an industry and the governments in the Gulf have got to do a better job of educating young graduates about the opportunities in the industry to develop careers, to travel and see the world, which is really the very exciting aspects of our business. Now, the other thing that's happening is we are seeing more and more hospitality academies coming onto the market around the Gulf, and this is a very welcome move. And many governments are beginning to enter into partnerships with established hospitality universities to offer degrees in hospitality management in the Gulf and certainly in North Africa.